Welcome back. African economies need to embrace the digital revolution even if they need to use disruptive innovation to do this. That's just one belief as AfricaCom 2018 kicks off in Cape Town. It's one of the biggest tech and telecom events on the continent. And joining me from the mother city to tell us more about Africa's digital potential is Tikla Mbonge, a senior research analyst at Ovum. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. So how does Africa's digital advancement fare against the rest of the world's?
Well, there's been a lot of improvement across Africa in terms of connectivity, but there's still a lot to do. If I just take the example of mobile phone usage, for instance, we are talking about population penetration of about 80% at present, compared to over 100% on a global base. And if we just look at broadband penetration per household, Africa is still lagging behind with a penetration of about 7% compared to over 50% for most of the other countries in the world. Not countries, but region.
So why is that so? Are we not doing enough to actually get onto an international level in this regard?
We are lagging behind, but we are actually, we've improved a lot over the past 10, 15 years. We have diverse population. Affordability has been an issue, and services has to be affordable to the population for them to be able to embrace. And on the top of that, we are coming from 20 years ago or 30 years ago where fixed network only covered urban centers, and now we are able to cover more population through mobile networks. So the obstacles to the growth in the digital or ICT sector were mainly a matter of affordability and network coverage.
I'm glad you mentioned ICT. There's always a lot of talk about Africa's potential in the ICT arena, but are we seeing any action, and who are the front runners?
Well, action, there's a lot of action, and action has been about improving people's life with relevant content and also new technologies being brought in order to cover more and more people. So if I just take the example of relevant content, we can take the example of mobile financial services, which is called either mobile money or M-Pesa, depending on the countries, whereby, thanks to technologies, we've been able to help ordinary people to access financial services, and we are talking about people who before never had access to the bank. In terms of technologies, we can talk about 3G, 4G, and soon to be rolled out 5G technologies, which are brought into the continent by service providers. So at present, or let's say at the end of this year, Ovum forecasts that about 50% of mobile network or mobile phone usage in Africa will be done via a 3G network.
Now, you mentioned this because you're basically leading me to my next question, which I like. In South Africa specifically, there's been a lot of focus on data prices this year. Do you think we can be competitive in the current market?
There's been indeed a lot of focus on data tariffs, with people complaining about the cost of data, and that's a trend across Africa. It's true that we still have expensive tariffs if we just compare to the ordinary person's average income. We only have 4 countries in Africa where 1 gigabyte of data is less than 2% of the monthly average income. So the service providers do not just price tariffs any way they want to. They have to take into account the cost of delivering the data, and in order to bring these costs down, there's a lot to do in terms of collaboration with the regulators, with the government, to bring taxation down as well. And we also have to take into account that the data consumption is increasing.
All right, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. That was Tikla Mbonge telling us all about AfricaCom 2018 in Cape Town.